increasing cost industry. Yesterday we looked at constant cost industry. Now let's look at increasing cost industry. For increasing cost industry, what is it that we have learned? Particularly for the constant cost industry, what is it that we have learned? We learned that in constant cost, entry does not affect the input costs. So there might be entry of new firms, but it will not affect the input costs. It will not affect the cost curves. In increasing cost industry, what might happen is that the entry of the new firms might increase the input cost. Okay, it will shift the cost curves upwards. Okay, so the entry it may cost the average cost curves of all firms to rise, right? You can think of what are the reasons. The reasons could be that inputs might be very, very scarce, right? So there are existing firms and there are new firms who are entering in the market, and all of them have to use these scarce inputs. So when they're using these scarce inputs and all of them are demanding these scarce inputs, it will increase the price of these inputs, right? The other reason could be, for example, when new firms are entering in the market, then they can create some kind of an external diseconomies on the existing firms, right? So, for example, in form of air pollution or water pollution. So, okay, well, how should I explain this? The explanation could be that there are new firms and there are existing firms, right? So when new firms come, they'll be using using machinery in such a way that there can be some kind of an industrial waste, right? And it will cause water pollution or air pollution. Water pollution, air pollution. So it might cause these things. And what will happen is that when there is a lot of industrial waste, for example, in the river, then there are some other costs which will also increase, right? So for example, such an industry will have to build up sewage treatment plants, right? So these things will increase the costs for the entire industry, okay? And hence the cost curves will go up for the industry, right? So let's look at diagrammatically what exactly and how exactly the increasing cost industry long run supply curve will look like. Well, if you look at it, there's an initial equilibrium price at, for example, P1. Let's draw such a curve. There is an AC curve like this here, right? There is the LMC curve like this here, clear? And there is, for example, SMC curve like this here. So equilibrium price is going to be here, right? Equilibrium price is going to be here at this. Clear? At this. So this typical firm, which is before entry, will have the equilibrium price at P1 and it will be producing small q1, right? And we can think of